Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be showing us how to make this bubu. I had this pack of Asooke and this pack of tassels, and this is what I'm going to be using to make this dress. So the Asooke, I had two packs of it. So I used one and some, so like 1 and 20 inches from the other pack to achieve this. And I think it's about one row measures about 12 yards, I think, by this length. 12 yards by this length. So I used all of one row and like 20 inches from the other one to achieve this. It comes like this in pieces, so I'm just going to be sewing it together at the sides, like combining it together. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a piece like this and another piece, and I'm going to sew it together. So I'm just going to place it close to each other and sew it all the way straight down. Initially, I wanted to do it continuous so that there's no joining at the shoulder. By the time I combined the fabric, the thing was refusing to align. I think it's the way they did the shoki. Some parts are stretched, some parts are short, so it's not straight, like the fabric is not straight. I'll show you what I mean. So this is it, right? It's not aligning. I don't know how to explain. If you have this kind of problem, it's just because sometimes the Ashoke comes this way. So just in case you have this kind of problem, I'm just showing you how I try to alter it. It's just that you may waste fabric. The only way I can work with this, that my clothes will not be going one way, like it has to align with the body. If it's going one way, like you wear the clothes and it's just tilting in another direction, the only way I can make this work is to try to trim this end. I'll trim this end. If I try to move it this way, see what I mean, it goes the other way. So I'm going to sew it, like trim this end and just work with the fabric. That's basically what I'll be doing. I'm not going to force it to align, otherwise it won't sit well on the body. So this is it here. I'll trim this end and trim this end so that it's normal. Before you join your Ashoke fabric, you have to know how much you're going to need. So first of all, you divide your biggest circumference by 4. So I had mine as 40, and then I'm going to be adding 6 inches to it plus 1 inch allowance. This is on fold, so if it's opened up, then you're going to double that measurement. So just make sure that you have enough to cover the measurement you have before you start cutting or start doing anything else. So I'm also going to add sleeves. Just because I didn't want to waste fabric, I just cut out a piece of fabric that will cover the sleeve area, and then I'll be joining it to the body of the bubu. So for the sleeve, I cut out 10 inches in length. Now to cut the neck, the width, I'll be using 3 inches, and the depth for the back is going to be 1 inch. Next, I'm going to take out the back and work on the front. So the depth of the front, I'm going to be using about 7 inches. 7 inches deep, and then it's going to be a straight V. To cut the facing, I'm going to get a piece of Ashoke and then place it underneath the neck and then trace the neck curve. So that's going to be the facing for the back. And then I'll do the same thing for the front. Now to shape the front facing, because this is going to be on the right face of the fabric, I'll be making it a V shape. So I'll just use my ruler to draw a straight line from the corner of the top to the down part. So this is the front facing. So the next thing I'm going to do is to use my iron to fold the edge of this facing. So I'm going to attach this to this to create an additional extension for the sleeve instead of having extra fabric here that I will trim up to. So I'll just go and add that now. And I'll do that for both sides of the front and both sides of the back. Next, I'm going to be attaching the facing for the back. So the facing for the back goes inside the fabric. So I'll do right side to right side and sew around the neckline, and then I'll be folding it in. And then I'll attach the facing for the front as well. But for the front, it's going to be right face of the facing to the wrong side of the fabric because we're going to be turning it to the right face of the fabric. Now attach facing to main fabric. The next thing I'm going to do is to notch around the sewing so that it'll be easy to turn it to the right side. Then I'll turn it to the right side and give it a good press. I'll use the pins to hold it in place, and then I'll take the sewing machine and sew it. See this area that looks like it's sticking out? When I get to the sewing machine, I'm going to push it in. Now I'm going to go and do the same thing for the back piece, but the difference is for the back, the facing is inside, not on the right side of the fabric. So I'll just go and sew this down. So now I've done the facing for both the front and the back. The next thing I'm going to do is to join them together by the shoulder. So I'll be sewing from the neck curve all the way to the sleeve, and I'll do it for both sides. After joining the shoulder, the next thing I'm going to do is to fold the sleeve part for both sides. Next, I'm going to sew the sides. So I'll start from the sleeve all the way to the down part. So this boob is going to have slits at the side. I'm going to measure 10 inches from the base to wherever it stops. So my sewing is going to start from the sleeve and stop at that point that I'm marking for where the slit should start. And I'm going to do this for both sides. So my sewing is going to stop at that point and then I'll lock the stitch. Next, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and fold these sides in. So I'm going to start sewing from one end, cross to the other side, and then sew all the way to the other end, and I'll do this for both sides. And then I'll fold the bottom. The next thing I'm going to do is attach the tassels. So I have this pack of tassels, but I don't want to just sew it and have it looking rough. So I cut one edge of the tassel and then I'm threading it with the needle, and then I'm going to attach it into the fabric. So I'm going to use the tassel as thread to attach it into the fabric. So I'm going to be putting it inside. You can make your own tassels. I think it'd be easier if you're making it yourself. But because I didn't want to make mine, I already got this already made tassels, and then I'm going to just be attaching it. But I want to attach it in such a way that it looks, I don't want this loose area, the thread area showing a lot. So I just want the tassel straight directly attached to the hem of the bubble. So this is what I want it to look like, and also I don't want it to look rough. So I'm going to be doing that for all the fabric and then sewing it neatly to have a very neat finish. If you want more details on how I attach these tassels, I have a video up on my channel. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave in the comment section and I'll be able to provide any details that you require. Alright guys, thank you all for watching today and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.